Hey, it's Steph. I'm here with a really gentle practice for you today. This is going to be entirely down on the mat, no standing up. Um, the theme is I'm hot and my ankles hurt. So we're going to start off lying down on our backs. So make your way down onto your back. And if you have some cushions, maybe some blocks around things to just kind of help prop yourself up here and there, that might be helpful. So come on down to your back any way you like. And pull your knees into your chest once you're there. You can close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. So, however is comfortable for you. Maybe you inhale through your nose and then sigh it out through your mouth. Maybe you inhale and then do horse lips. I really like horse lips. And then if your eyes are closed, open them up and lift your legs up into the air. You can do anything you want with your arms, but I feel like interlacing my hands and placing them behind my head, so that's what I'm going to do. Wiggle your digits. So take your toes and just kind of see how much they want to wiggle. And then rotate your ankles. You can keep wiggling your digits as you rotate your ankles. And once you've gone a few times in one direction, reverse and go in the other direction. Continue taking really deep breaths, just kind of breathing slowly and fully. And then shake your legs out. Notice they're cracking and popping. Mine are. They have a lot to say today. Just if your body is making noises, you can just kind of think of that as it's saying hi to you, communicating, letting you know it's there. And then flex and point your feet a few times. Then bring the soles of your feet down onto your mat. Wiggle them out to the edges of your mat or even a little further and drop your knees from side to side. It doesn't matter how far down they go. It doesn't matter how quickly or slowly you move. Try to just really feel into what you're feeling and move the way that works for you today. So, like, whatever feels right. Maybe you can find something that feels good. And as you're doing these windshield wipers, again, really breathe slowly and fully. And notice if there are other parts of your body that are like clenching up and they don't need to clench up. So for me, that's my jaw. My jaw does everything. I mean, I don't know if I'd even be able to walk around or get up in the morning or read a book quietly to myself. I don't know. I'm a little tired. Can you tell? Without my jaw, it seems nothing is possible. And of course, it's not really doing anything but holding tension. So if you have a part of you that just is a really big helper and doesn't really need to be, sometimes just bringing a little attention to those places. Often it can be something like neck and shoulders or like brows that furrow, places that clench up. Just give it a little attention, say hello. You can give it permission to relax, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. Either way, you don't have to try and force it to relax because that doesn't usually work. When you're ready, bring your knees back to center, toe heel your feet in, and bring the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to come out to the side. You're in Supta Baddha Konasana. And notice How does this feel for you? Does it hurt? Is it like really uncomfortable? If that's the case, sometimes taking a couple of pillows or blocks or something and placing them under the outsides of your knees can be really helpful. And another thing that can be helpful is bringing a gentle pressure between your feet. So pressing your the soles of your feet together gently. Sometimes is a sportive thing to do here. When you're ready, bring your knees back up together and pull them into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. Then extend your left leg down straight onto your mat. Rest it down there. Bring your left hand over your right knee. Drop your right arm out to the side. And you can keep this really lazy. It doesn't have to be like full of effort. The point today is just to kind of move around a little, roll around a little, and see what can happen. What can you feel? And can you make it feel good? And then bring your right knee over to the left to the extent that that works for you. And your right hip will come up off the ground, probably. And that is A-OK. Bring your body back to center. Pull both knees in. Maybe try horse lips. And then extend your right leg down straight on the mat. Bring your right hand over your left knee. Drop your left arm out and twist your knee over towards the right. And you can kind of like scooch things around, move things around as needed to make this feel better for you. You can do anything you want with your head. So a lot of times people will say, turn to look over your extended arm. So in this case, you'd be looking over your left arm. But for many people, that kind of sucks for their neck. You get to decide. So if it feels good for you to do that, you can do that. If having your head kind of looking straight up is better, you can do that. And anything else. Anything that feels good. Anything that makes it more comfortable. Come back to center. Bring the soles of both feet down onto the floor. Widen them out a little bit and try a few more windshield wipers. So knees coming down to one side and then down to the other. Back to center. Pull your knees in towards your chest again. And then come into happy baby. So pull your knees out towards your armpits to the extent that that works. Flex your feet, aim them up towards the ceiling. And your hands can stay here on your knees. They can come behind your knees. They can come somewhere along your lower leg, or maybe you wrap them around the soles of your feet. Whatever Again, whatever feels right to you. So, what feels right to me is not always going to feel right to you. And happy baby is a posture that the first many times I tried this posture, actually, it was not at all happy for me. It sucked. I hated it. And I didn't know why they called it happy baby. I was like, what are you talking about? So, like, if this is your happy baby today, that's cool. Just make it happy. At this point, it actually feels good to me to bring my hands around the soles of my feet. But, if it doesn't for you, that's cool. And maybe it never will. And that's cool too. The thing is, we're not doing these movements to achieve something. This isn't, yoga's not about, like how deeply can I move my body into this position or that position. It's about self awareness and it's about presence and it's about acceptance. So, like, being aware of what you can do. And like, you can celebrate what you can do, you know? What you can do is awesome. And you might notice I'm rocking from side to side because that's what feels good to me right now. And if movement is something that feels good to you, you can move around. If stillness feels good, you can do that. Take your time coming out of happy baby, bring your feet down onto the floor. Again, anything you want to do with your arms. And then keep your left foot planted on the floor and cross your right leg over your left. Just kind of wiggle it around a little, kind of rocking from side to side a couple of times. And then if it feels right to you, you can lift your hips up, scooch them over to the right a little bit, and then drop your knees down to whatever degree over to the left. And if this doesn't feel right to you, if dropping your knees down doesn't feel right, you can stay with your legs up, kind of moving around, seeing what's going on there. But if dropping them down feels good, go ahead and do that. And notice what you're feeling here. So for me, this is kind of a stretch through my low back on the right there in particular. And twists are always very interesting. I have scoliosis, and I think that makes them possibly a little more interesting for me than if I didn't. And that means I have to kind of be really aware of uh, what I'm feeling and move slowly. And I think those are kind of good rules anyway when you're doing yoga, regardless of what is going on in your body. You really want to stay present and just notice what is going on in your body. What do you feel? When you're ready, you can come out of that twist if you're in it. If you're not in it, you won't have to come out of it. But uncross your legs, make sure your hips are back centered on your mat, and cross your left leg over your right knee. Start finding some movement, maybe swaying back and forth with your knees, rocking a little bit over your sacrum. Just feeling what's going on this side. And then, if you would like to, you can press down through your feet, lift your hips, shift them over a little to the left, and drop your knees over to the right, slowly with control, just to the degree that feels interesting or useful or good. Notice your breath. Make sure you're able to breathe freely. Then, if you're in a twist, you can lift your knees up, shift them back to center, uncross your legs. And from here, pull your knees in again. Maybe rock from side to side a little bit. Maybe try horse lips if you like horse lips. Then drop your left foot down. Flex your right foot and bring that ankle over your left knee, just above your left knee on that thigh. Start to gently press your right knee away from your body. So you're externally rotating your right hip, and maybe you'll feel something in that outer right hip. Maybe not. Either way is fine. I'm going to place a cushion under my neck right now, under my head, because I have a comb in the back of my head that is feeling really uncomfortable on the floor. And you might want to do that just to feel a little bit of cushioning under your head. So you can stay here, or you might consider pulling your left knee up and in towards your chest, and that would probably deepen the stretch in your outer right hip. And if you do that, you might interlace your hands behind your hamstrings on that left leg or around the shin, just under the knee of that left leg. And again, maybe you find some movement here, like a little bit of rocking back and forth. Just noticing if you do, like, what does it feel like? For me, I can feel the stretch shifting around in my outer right hip. And can you breathe pretty freely, even as you're all folded up here? If you are folded up, I mean, you're folded up to some degree, whether your foot is down on the mat or you've pulled your knee up like this. And then drop that leg down if it's up. Bring your right foot down onto the floor, flex your left foot. Bring that ankle up over your right knee, just above your right knee. Same thing here. So start pressing your left leg, your left knee away from your body. See, what do you feel in that outer hip on your left leg? And decide, do you want to stay here? Do you want to lift your right knee up towards your chest? Do you want to interlace your hands behind your hamstrings on your right leg? Or maybe in front of your shin on your right leg? And do you want to be here in stillness, or do you want to move around a little? If you've pulled that right knee in, you might consider circling your right ankle a little bit in one direction and then the other a few times. Maybe wiggle all your toes. And you might check in again with those parts of you that you know clench up, those parts of you that do all the work even when they don't have to. Hello, jaw. As you're ready, you can drop your foot down if it's up and bring both feet down to the ground. Widen them out a little bit and try a few more windshield wipers. Knees moving from side to side. And then set yourself up. Set yourself up in a way that feels comfortable, where you can rest for a few minutes. Maybe close your eyes if it feels good. Maybe just find a place to rest your gaze.